Hey YouTube, I've got one thing to say right now. This is Review Hunter, and I just got finished watching The Labyrinth of Grisaia, episode 14, The Cocoon of Caprice. And man, I have never seen anything as messed up as what I just got finished watching. I mean, this was the saddest, most tragic, most depressed thing I have ever seen. Ever. I mean, the main character of this show, his name is Kazami Yūji. And good Lord have mercy. Oh man, it was just so messed up. If you haven't seen this show, just skip straight to episode 14, and then you can go back and watch it from the beginning. This is a new season, so it's kicking off with this recap, what I really feel like they should have gave in the first season. And I mean, God, Kazami first of all, it was an hour-long episode. It wasn't a 20-minute episode. And they really did a very thorough job at going back through his background. And let me just rattle off a few of the things that happened in this to spoil it. So this is a spoiler alert. If you don't want to be spoiled, stop now. But basically, Kazami's older sister was a genius. And she was the head of the household. She was making the money for their family. But she wasn't flawless. She wasn't perfect. His sister ran the show. And she basically manipulated everyone around her into doing her will and her bidding. And she had the right to. She was the breadwinner. But Kazami was basically being controlled by his sister just like everyone else. She basically molested her younger brother at a very young age. But at the very least, she had his best interest in heart. Out of everyone else that we saw in this, minus the last person who came in, his father was an abusive drunk. His mother was pacifist. So basically, his sister went on a field trip one day, and the bus ran off a cliff, and everyone in the field trip died, including his sister. After his sister died, his father became a drunk and started beating his mother and him every day, all day, and just living under the thumb of an abusive father figure, which is something that a lot of Americans can relate to. And not only that, but his mother finally snuck away with him, and they went off to live a lower class life where his mother worked every day to provide for him for about a year until his father found them again. Then his father beat his mother, beat him, and started raping his mother right there in front of him. And if you watch the show, his mother is being raped in the anime. It's terrifying. And he has to then take a bottle of alcohol and kill his father with it. His mother's spirit is broken at this point. Then she sends him off with a little bit of money that they have, and he comes back hours later when he hears police sirens, and his mother's dangling from the ceiling because she hung herself. Then he gets adopted by one of his father's old associates, who then molests him again. Except this time it's by a man, and he's forcing him to wear woman's clothing, trying to dress him up like his sister, and pimping him out to other men. And when he finally kills one of the other men that he's getting ready to be raped and assaulted by, he's then like a puppet sitting on this man's lap eating chocolate, like completely broken. And the man says, "I'm gonna turn you into a different tool for me." The man is actually the head of a terrorist organization, and he takes Kazami and he puts him in a terrorist training camp for several years, in which he's forced to fight against his best friend to the death that he made during the training camp. But then he couldn't kill his best friend last minute because he would say, "I'm just like my father," beating on another woman, and she beats the crap out of him. And she graduates from the academy because she defeated him, but she didn't kill him. And then she gets killed, and he feels like, well, if I'd only beat her, maybe she wouldn't have died out there in the real world trying to do one of these assassinations. Then he gets turned into an assassin for several years, where he has to then kill people because he's been ordered to do so. Then the story ends by him being rescued after several years of sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, locked in a cellar in handcuffs, in a wig and a dress, by the man who kidnapped him, or no, by the man who adopted him after his mother committed suicide. I mean, oh my God, this had to be the most depressing thing I have ever seen in an anime. It takes the cake. It takes the cake. The cake. The whole cake. And it takes it home. You know, if I weren't so concerned about how I'm perceived on YouTube by other powers and things that I'm trying to do in my life, man, you wouldn't be able to count the curse words, the swear words, man. This was the most messed up, and I say messed up because I have to say messed up instead of what I really want to say. This was messed up. But it was a good watch. It was good writing. It was good drama. It was terrible, though. It was terrible. You guys need to watch this. Like, comment, subscribe. It's Review Hunter.